Hello there, and welcome to Stanley Chess. You know, I had to go to the doctor's the other day because I was sick, right? And I told my doctor, I was like, look, I mean, every time I cough, it sounds like Bishop, Punch, Queen. And he said, oh, well, it sounds like you have a chest infection. And then prescribed me antibiotics. You know what? I'm going to play a game for you guys. Let's hop into it. We're going to play a 10-minute rapid, and I'm going to comment my thoughts, and we'll hope that I win. And if I don't, then that'll be fun too. We're playing with the black pieces. And you know what that means. We're playing a Caro Kann against d4. Yeah, we are. Okay, so we have takes. And the knight's on f3. We're going to go ahead and bring our knight out to c6. Also fight for that center. And we'll see what my opponent responds with here. Okay, bishop b5. I'm not really afraid of this pin. Doesn't quite threaten anything. In fact, I'm going to pin the knight right back. Okay, bishop gets attacked. I don't want to part with my light-squared bishop quite yet, because I don't think there's a big need to. I think taking is okay, but I mean, it lets his queen get active, and there's no real need to do that. So we're gonna see what happens here. Okay, bishop comes out to f4. That just kind of, you know, keeps an eye on my position. If I wanted to, I could play bishop d6, try and trade off that bishop, or I can just play something like knight f6. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, keep my options open, a bit flexible here. See what we're going to do. The knight is still pinned. That's nice. So maybe bishop e7 or d6 and go for that trade. I'm going to castle. Probably get a rook to the c-file, and we're going to see what happens from there. I feel like his knight might come out somewhere. If it goes here, it's blocking his c-pawn, so that would be nice for me. And he's taking a think. Okay. I did a poll. Oh. Wow. Okay, well, he's forcing our hand. We're going to go back. I was saying I did a poll and asked you guys what you prefer for content, and it seems like a lot of you guys said that you prefer like commentary over live games. So I'll see if I can work on that, but for now, I'm going to play a live game for today. Okay, so the knight develops to d2. Okay. I could bring a rook to the c-file, start staring down over here. Or I can just work on getting castled. I do see that since he's pushed these kingside pawns, the dark squares might be a bit weaker. So if I can get rid of this dark squared bishop, that could be a plus for me. So I'm going to go ahead and play bishop d6 and maybe try and get some trade going on. Activate my queen over here and see if we can get something going. There's that trade. It's kind of the only option there, unless you decide to like bring the bishop back and king would have to take. Okay, so I think my opponent wants my light squared bishop and to put pressure on my pinned knight here on c6. I think I'm just going to castle. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you an announcement from me. Make sure you subscribe. I would appreciate it. That's all. And if he takes my bishop, then I'm okay with that. I'm going to refresh my screen just because the pieces are lagging a little bit. So we'll see if that helps. Okay. This is not a threat, taking. Yeah, see, that's fine. I'm just going to go c5 now. And now I have the b file, which I like more than the c file because c file, he could just get this pawn chain going on. But at the same time, I guess you could argue my bishop was staring at the pawn. But see, now it's not even there anymore. How about that? Okay, so what are we going to do? I feel like we should fight for the center and make it so this pawn is not a target anymore. But I can also just go ahead and play rook b8 and hit the pawn. Kind of force like the knight to come out, but then the knight's coming here. It might be harder to play that move. Interesting. Okay, okay. And I have to not forget that, you know, I wanted to take advantage of the king side weaknesses over here. Kind of tough to do that. I could also drop my knight back, try and get rid of this knight on e5. Maybe try some f6 or something. But I think for now I'm just going to play c5. Because I don't want my pawn on c6. It kind of looks dumb there. And what I don't want is the knight coming out to b3. And then I can't push c5, you know. And I don't want the knight jumping in there either because those two knights are going to be kind of annoying. So I want to push while I still have the chance. And maybe take and get him an isolated pawn here. Okay, so the knight comes out to b3 anyway. So if I take, he can take with the knight and get his knight on a good square. Or the queen, honestly. It opens up the queen as well. So what to do? What to do? I don't want to close it down necessarily, because my opponent's got a couple of knights. They like closed positions a bit more. And also the knight would just be really annoying in my business there on c5. So what am I going to do instead? Well, he's threatening to take, huh? That's kind of the whole thing. I'm just going to go ahead and take. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know about that. So he takes with the pawn. Now he's got this isolated pawn here on d4, and these pawns have been extended a bit. This seems like he's, I don't know, his pawn structure's giving me the heebie-jeebies. I'm thinking about doing this just to kind of get something going, but I feel like I'm not stronger on that side of the board because he has the 2-on-1. I probably shouldn't be pushing myself. So what to do instead? Well, I had this knight d7 idea to try and dislodge the knight. I could also jump in here. Doesn't do too much, but maybe prepares some f6. Although, if I were to do that, I have to worry about like f3, and then my knight goes here, and I don't know. Let's see. The c file is also probably where my rook wants to be, so I'm going to go ahead and play rook a c8. I have to be aware that my a7 pawn is now unprotected. Whenever you move a rook away from something like that, you always got to just mental note, like a sticky note up there, like, ah yes, my a7 pawn is now unprotected. And this is what I didn't want, was the knight jumping in like this. Man, I'm not sure what I could have done. I guess probably this, huh? Do I sack? No, that's unnecessary. Although, sorry, I just thought about takes. The pawn is kind of overloaded, and then I could take the knight here and get 2 pieces for the rook. Although, what? If I take here, then he might take my bishop first and hit my rook. And then while I'm busy recapturing the knight, then he takes this, and I'm just going to be down in exchange there. So that's not good. This is a bit annoying. I don't like these knights here. And I was even talking about how I didn't want this to happen. Ugh. And I'm lower on time. Okay, so let's go ahead and play not that, because that would hang a fork. Man. Okay. I can double rooks. Ooh, actually, I'm just going to go knight here anyway, because now I'm contesting his knight on c5. Yeah. I didn't like this move earlier because I didn't think it did too much, but now I want to get this knight out of here. He hasn't brought the rest of his pieces in, so I don't know how I feel about these 2 knights being supported by 1 isolated pawn. Because if this pawn leaves, again, he's kind of overloaded. So that's kind of a good thing for me. We're going to see if we can work with that. I'm down a couple of minutes, so I feel like I got to move a little bit faster here. Now, how do I want to take back? I could take like this, but then my pawn looks a little weird. So I'm going to take with the bishop. And now I'm kind of staring down at his king, which he kind of weakened for no real reason, right, when he pushed these pawns. So we'll see what happens. I'm thinking about pushing f6 to kick his knight away and maybe get our queen to take a look-see over in his position there. His queen attacks my pawn. Okay, what do? We can defend it and keep eyes on this pawn. That looks pretty good to me. We could also like throw our rook in here and start counterattacking on the queen side with those pawns, but I think for now, but if I go here, then he gets the fork. That's so annoying. Why does the knight have to always be threatening a fork? Okay, I think I'm gonna do this first, right? And then what? The knight goes here, then I've got to move my rook somewhere. And then he's probably going to take the pawn after. But that doesn't work if I go to f7, because his knight on d7 would be hanging. So, but then he might hop over here and just replace the other knight that was there. Oh, man, this is silly. Let's play f6. And now our bishop can always, like, go back along this diagonal as well. I don't know. I said I had to play quicker. I'm not playing quicker. I gotta play quicker. That's something I'm not great at, is I always end up super low on time and just playing poorly in the end of the game. But we're going to try and do well here. And we're going to expand in the center, so maybe we can just get a nice center and maybe crash through on the f file? And maybe the c file as well to target that f2 pawn? That could be an idea. That could be a thing for sure. Once the knight goes away, which, honestly, the knight doesn't really have squares, because my bishop controls these. He could counterattack me here, But then if takes, what? I take this? Oh, there's a lot of captures going on there. Like f3, takes, and then the rooks are seeing each other, so they could exchange. But I could also take this. I could have also taken that. We'll see if that happens. I feel like he might be counterattacking my bishop here. That might be what he's thinking about. And there we go. There it is. Oh, wait, but this doesn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, we go here, and we attack the queen with the bishop, defended by the rook, and the knight is still hanging. Oh, but that's a good move. I missed that. I played my move so quick. Yeah, my queen is hanging. Man. Although... the knight is practically out of squares. I see that. If I go queen b6, which is my thought, right? I hit this over in the on b2. Then if the knight jumps here, then I can take. But then my rook is hanging. My rook would be hanging there. So maybe that's not right. Is there something I can do that defends my rook? Because the knight is trapped. The knight is basically trapped. Okay, so if I go like queen b8, which is kind of silly, then the knight is hanging, right? So if knight here, then I take. And then my queen defends my rook. And if queen back, I think I'm going to play it. Oh, wait, no. No, that would be silly because then he takes my pawn on e6 with check. Never listen to me. I'm just going to take and then go here, I think. And then he's going to get his knight into c5, which is annoying. But then we're going to play e5, right? We're just going to play e5. And our bishop always can get away this way. And our rooks are ready to double. Not there. Our rooks are ready to double if need be. We're trying to undermine the support of the knight. So he might play something like b4 to defend the knight. And our bishop is now attacked. So let's retreat our bishop somewhere like this. Bishop's attacked. Retreat the bishop. Although now... Are there any discoveries from the knight? I don't think so. Because my rook is undefended. So if I had a king that like was here, he could give me a check and take the rook. But I don't have to worry about that because there's no real discoveries that I see, at least. So we're probably going to go here. Anyway, we have a passed pawn as well. So maybe I just ignore the knight and say it's kind of silly and just start pushing my pawns. Do I push this one? Takes, and he can't take back. And then my rook also opens up. That is a hanging pawn on f3. I'm just double checking that there are no discoveries with the knight because this rook again is undefended. And that's something you have to keep an eye on. If your rook is undefended like this and the other rook sees it through your opponent's piece, you have to be worried or keep an eye on any possible discoveries. So now I'm thinking we just go back. Maybe here? I'm thinking... where do we move our rook? Or do we just go here? Do we just go here? Quite possibly. I think I'm going to go here. I was worried about knight e6, but then I think I get some checks going and my rooks get in there. I just don't want my king to get driven out. Like if he goes here and I move my rook somewhere, then this check is quite annoying because I'd have to go back and I would lose my rook there. Okay. It's getting quite interesting. I have these passed pawns that I feel like should win me the game. Oh, especially now. Okay. I'm just going to, yeah, trade all the rooks. If I go after the pawn here, then what? He just pushes it. So maybe we just start pushing. He does have a 2-on-1 over here, but I feel like our bishop is going to do a good job of stopping it. So let's go ahead. I'm also up a pawn. So maybe I should just bring my king. Let's go ahead and bring our king. Good endgame practices. Let's push here. He can't take. And then we're going to push with check. Maybe. I just have to be able to stop these pawns over here on the queen side. Because if they get going, I might not have much. So let us... We don't want our pawns to be blockaded, though. This pawn's under attack, so we're going to give this check. And then let's march our king this way. I want my bishop to always be able to drop back over here, and I want my king to ultimately defend my pawns. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But then we get forked on this square if we go here. So maybe we have to do something else. Let's see. Something like this? Ugh, this is annoying. Okay. But we're going to lose both our pawns that way. What to do? I only have a minute. So let's go ahead and drop back this way. And maybe I'll march over here. I still got forked! Oh my goodness, I cannot believe. That's ridiculous. We're going here. Now he's got 2 passed pawns. Okay, so, oh my gosh. Oh man, I avoided one fork but fell for another. How ridiculous is that, right? Okay, so he's got these pawns going. But his knight looking a little stuck. Because if he goes there, I go here. And my bishop is probably going to be able to stop the pawns in time, I'm hoping. Now that my king defends my pawn here, I'm happy about that. That's what I was trying to do the whole time, is get my king to defend my e4 pawn so that I can try and get my bishop away. The problem before was that my bishop couldn't go away. But now, pawn's defended, and I attack his pawn here. And his knight is kind of out of squares. So I think I can just go... but if I go here, then there's that issue, right? But then I just start pushing. So let's go here. And I don't know what that is. I am not going to lie. Let's take this pawn. Right. But then I go here. And just defend the pawn. And if he takes with the knight and then takes, his king can't stop my pawn. So this pawn might start going. Which is a bit annoying. Yeah, so let's drop our bishop back to the corner. Because I'm low on time and I don't know what else to do. I feel like I need to march my king up and help my pawns get there. And I don't think there's a worry about him queening. Because his knight would take a few... Oh, but he does get the check. But I just take. Oh, but then he queens! We both queen. We both queen. I don't know what's happening anymore, guys. I have 20 seconds, so I'm likely just going to lose on time. I need to make a move. Yeah. This is sad. He's just going to win all my pawns now because I walked into these checks. Dang. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go for this and hope he trades and then hope that I can draw this game. So we're going to march forward like this and then take. And then maybe this is a draw? This should be a draw. No, it's not. Oh, wait, it is. No, it's not. Dang it. Oh, did I go the wrong way? I did. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has truly been a game of chess. Did I have a draw somewhere? That's ridiculous. Takes. I did have a draw. I went the wrong way. I had to go this way. You know why? Because now, when his king gets in, I'm able to get to the f7 square. I just went the wrong way. If I had a few more seconds, I would have figured that out. Oh, but I went this way, and now the problem is my king is not able to get to f7 because I had to take an extra move. Oh, man, I should have gone the other way. How ridiculous is that? Because this, right, and then he wins my pawn, but since it's a corner pawn, this is just a draw. You just shuffle back and forth, and if he tries to push his pawn here, then he stalemates himself. I almost saved that. How ridiculous. How silly. Okay. Well, hey, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you as always. Make sure you like the video if you did like the video. Feel free to leave me a comment below. Have you tried the Grimace birthday shake at McDonald's? I'm curious. Let me know how that tasted if you have had it. All right. Well, that's all I've got for you. Have a good day. And make sure you subscribe, too. I see you.